Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa jazallahu anna Muhammadin ma huwa ahlu, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay, transfer. So we'll be continuing where we left off from last class with same surah, Surah
Yeah.
Al-Qalam, ayat number 43.
Yes.
Just a quick thing. Can you hear me properly? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So the first part of this ayat now, it says خاشعة أبصارهم ترهقهم ذلة. Continuing, it says قد كانوا يدعون إلى السجود وهم سالمون. So it says خاشعة means downcast or humiliated, humbled. Absar means eyes. Or the sight, you can also say. So then absaruhum just means their sight. And then it says so tarhaquhum means for something to overpower. So then dhilla,
Humility.
right? So dhilla means humiliation or disgrace. So then it says that tarhaquhum, it says disgrace has overwhelmed them, and so their eyes are downcast or looking down. And we see that sometimes if you're talking to people, maybe your elders or your friends, and you say something that's kind of mean, and you feel, humiliated for saying it, you look down and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." You kind of try to humble yourself. So that's what it's referring to. And it says, and then it continues, وَقَدْ كَانُوا يُدْعَوْنَ. It says, وَقَدْ كَانُوا يُدْعَوْنَ. Um, it says, and so وَقَدْ كَانُوا means, and verily they were, يُدْعَوْنَ, called to, إِلَى السُّجُودِ, called towards prostration, وَهُمْ سَلِمُونَ, whilst they were healthy, sound, and there were no deficiencies within them. So it's basically saying that they were called to um, make prostration, but they never prostrated, or if they did, it wasn't sincere. It was it wasn't devotion. Maybe it was hypocrisy in their hearts. So continuing now to ayah 44. It says, فَذَرْنِي وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ. فَذَرْنِي means so leave me, or now leave me. وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ. وَمَنْ means and whomever. يُكَذِّبُ denies or lies. بِهَذَا, or you can also say reject, I think is a better word. And whomever rejects. بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ, with this revelation. So although when we think of the word hadith, you usually think of the Prophet's words and such stuff, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hadith also just means like speech. So because it also can mean speech, it also refers to revelations. As we know, that Quran is the words of Allah, right? So and then the next ayah now it continues. It says, "Sanastad sanastadrijuhum min haythu la ya'lamun." So the first scene just means it's soon, like it's future. It makes the verb in the sentence future tense. So it's saying that it continues. It says, it says we shall now lower them. So basically, it's saying that we're going to humiliate them, bring them down to a lower level. Min haythu means from wherever. La ya'lamun, they did not know, or they did not perceive. So basically, Allah is saying that, He's telling the Prophet to leave the people who deny the hadith, leave it to me, leave them be, leave them to me. I will sort them out, and I will convey them gradually towards hell, and they would not even realize it. And we see that even in life, many times people, right, um, they would spiral out of control, and it's like where did this even come from, right? There was a story, just to quickly mention it. Um, it can be found, I believe, in both Muslim and Sahih Bukhari. It tells of a pious man in before the Prophet came. Like before, maybe around Jesus' time, long years ago, long time ago. The pious Israeli, pious Israeli Jewish brother, a monk, and he had basically went from top tier piety to prostrating to shaitan and dying in kufr. Like from not an extreme, but from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. And you read a story, but it's like, where did all this come from? Like, how did it get there? So that's kind of what the min haythu la ya'lamun is kind of saying. Sometimes we go from like one place in our lives to another, and it's like, where did this even happen? So now it continues, ayat number 45. وَأُمْلِي لَهُمْ إِنَّ كَيْدِي مَتِينٌ. Um, so it says, وَأُمْلِي لَهُمْ means that I continue giving them respite. Allah is just saying that He's just giving us time. He's giving good people time to do more good, bad people time to do more bad, or bad people time to change themselves and become good. Allah is saying that He's just giving us respite, time. Take your time, you know. And it says, "In the kaidi, verily, my scheme." Scheme you should not say. Scheme has a like a negative connotation to it, so it's probably better not to say that kind of a word. A better word would be to say a plan. Pardon me. A plan would be a better word to say. Very my plan is mateen, which means certain, strong, powerful. Um, there's no there's no beating it. Allah is always thinking multiple steps ahead, basically, figuratively speaking. And now it continues ayat 46. Tas'aluhum ajran fahum min fahum mim sorry maghramim muthqalun. It says tas'aluhum ajran. So are you asking them for a wage? Ajran is a wage or a reward. Fahum min maghram. Maghram means a like a debt, and then muthqalun means overwhelmed. So it says like, are you asking them for a wage, and that now they're burdened with a debt? So basically, it's like some people, if you have a when you have a job, sometimes your employer can't pay you because he's just so overwhelmed with with debt and such things that he doesn't have the means to pay you back. So Allah is saying that, like, are you going to his people and basically making their lives harder? Is that why they're rejecting? I mean, that's obviously not the case. It continues. أم أم عندهم الغيب فهم يكتبون. And it says, um, or do they have al-ghaib means knowledge of the unseen? فهم يكتبون, that they can write it down. Like, do they have such a knowledge, where they're able to read the stars and the planetary alignments and just know things that no ordinary human can know? And if they did have that, why aren't they writing it down? And it continues at number 48. فاصبر لحكم ربك ولا تكن كصاحب الحوت إذ نادى وهو مكذوم. So here the صاحب الحوت is talk about Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. So it's translation of the ayah is fasbir, so be patient. لحكمي, for the order, or the wise order of your Lord. ولا تكن, and do not be like the companion of the hut, like the companion of the whale, of the fish. إذ nada, when he called, while he was makdum, and he was called out with rage. It was saying that the Prophet Yunus, he called out and he was filled with rage, like he was just very angry. So Allah is telling the people, or Allah is telling the Prophet peace be upon him. He's saying, when you go about calling people, telling them to accept Islam, do not become restless and agitated by their rejection, just like Prophet Yunus was. Right, he went to a city and was calling them, but they didn't obey, and he became very angry and agitated. Right, so Allah is teaching him, don't be like your brother, because all of the prophets were brothers, right? So don't be like your brother. Don't do what he did. Don't make that seem like you're. I continuing now. All right, then the next ayah is لولا أن تدارك نعمة من ربه لنبذ بالعراء وهو مذموم. Um, so laula means if not, or had it not, an tadarakahu ni'matum mir rabbi. So I'm gonna cut off there and then retranslate it. So ni'ma means blessings. Mir rabbi means from his Lord. So it says that had the blessing of his Lord not reached him, had the blessings or the grace of his Lord, had it not reached him, la surely nubida, um he would have been flung, he would have been thrown bil ara'i, into a barren field, bil ara'i, into a barren field, wa huwa madhmum, whilst he was disgraced. So they're saying that had Allah not shown additional grace to him after the acceptance of his repentance, meaning Prophet Yunus, he would have been left on the barren field on which the fish had flung him. So basically, Prophet Yunus, one of his miracles was that he was in the belly of a whale, and then the animal eventually like vomited him up onto the empty land that he was in. So Allah is saying that he would have stayed on that barren land, um, if Allah did not bless him with more things. And then it continues at number 50. فاجتباه فاجتباه ربه فجعله من الصالحين. So it's saying فاجتباه ربه. It says that his Lord, Rabbuhu, his Lord, fajtabah, favored him, faja'alahu, and he made him from amongst minas salihin, from amongst the righteous or the pious. Ayat number 51. وَإِنْ يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ بِأَبْصَارِهِمْ لَمَّا سَمِعُوا لَمَّا سَمِعُوا الذِّكْرَ وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونَ. So I'm going to break it down. It says, وَإِنْ يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. It says that had the unbelievers, right? It says, let me see. So it says, right? It says that the unbelievers are yet engaged in trying to make you slip with their eyes when they hear the Quran. Uh, yeah. So it says, and verily the disbelievers are basically adamant. They're very, very engaged in trying to make the Prophet slip with their eyes. And it says, lemma, whenever, sami or dhikra, whenever they hear the Quran, or the yeah, you say the Quran, وَيَقُولُونَ, and they say, innahu, verily he, lamajnoon, is a madman, is a maniac, right? Um, so it says the unbelievers anger at hearing the Quran, and they are filled with anger at hearing the Quran, and they stare at you sharply as though it would cause you to slip from your place, right? Um, and that's happens nowadays. Anytime you're talking to people and they just look at you, right, as if their eyes can make a difference in your speech, right? And then ayah number 52, the final ayah of Surah Qalam, it says, وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. وَمَا هُوَ, but وَمَا هُوَ, and it is not, or but not, you could say, um, or it is nothing, وَمَا هُوَ, and it is nothing, except, except ذِكْرُ, a reminder, a remembrance, لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Um, So we're saying that the Quran is nothing more just a reminder for the people, right? That Allah is not asking for this or that. He's just reminding us of the hereafter and basically of who we are. So we're going to continue. Pardon? Oh, Assalamualikum, Yahya. I don't know. Did it automatically let you in? It usually
Yeah.
says, oh, it did, eh? That's kind of good. I would not have seen it. That's good. Okay, so we're continuing. Ayat number 1, Surah Haqqa. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Haqqa, just one word. It just means the inevitable. The inevitable. Number 2, Mal-Haqqa. What is the inevitable? Number 3, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقَّةُ. And what will inform you? Adraka means inform you, and what will inform you about what the inevitable is. Ayah number 4, it says كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ وَعَادٌ بِالْقَارِعَةِ. It says Thamud and Ad, who were two groups of people. They were also sent two prophets. It says that they denied the qadi'ah, the crushing, in brackets hour, that they denied it. So now continuing. فأما ثمود فأهلكوا بالطاغية. It says, as for Thamud, فأهلكوا, so they were destroyed بالطاغية. And طاغية is a so طاغية is a violent upheaval. You can say like a wind, right? A hurricane, a storm, along those lines. وأما عاد فأهلكوا, so and as for Ad, فأهلكوا, so they were destroyed بريح, with a wind, صرصر, عاتية. So ريح means wind, صرصر is a howling, I believe, howling, and then عاتية, you could say, I believe cold. Basically just saying that as for Ad, they were destroyed by a cold, howling wind. I have to double check. So next, I have to double check if sar means howling or if it means cold. So next class, I don't have my dictionary. Next class, I'll make mention of that. Which one is the specific? Actually, I'll do it right now. Give me one moment. Let me double check. One moment. I'm gonna double check that word. That we can just confirm. Because I feel like I might be saying it differently. Let me double check. Okay, so sarsar means howling or furious. Let me go back to share screen. Okay, right. So right. So sarsar means howling, furious, and we see that with wind, like wind screams, right? And then atiya just means cold. So continuing. سخرها عليهم 7 ليال وثمانية أيام حسوما. I'll stop there and I'll continue after. One moment. Sorry about that. I just had to move to my bedroom. So continuing now. Sakharaha means to let loose. So it says, so he let it loose. Ha means it. He let it loose. Alayhim upon them for sab'a layalin, for 7 nights, wa thamaniyata ayamin, and 8 days. Husuman means in succession, basically day after day after day after day, day and night, day and night, day and night. And it says, "Fatara al-qawma," so you see the nation, um, في فيها صرعى كأنهم أعجاز أعجاز نخل خاوية. So it says, and you will see the nation, al-qawm, um, and you'll see them fallen, كأنهم, as if they were hollow. Nakhl means date palms, as if they were hollow. Khawiya means hollow, empty, and a'jaz, um, yeah, yeah, basically saying that um, when Ad and Thamud, when they were finished being punished after the 7 nights and the 8 days, uh, that that their entire city, their whole nation, looked as if they were just completely decimated, fallen, empty, date palm trees. And so date palm trees tend to be very sturdy, very thick trees. So when those are knocked down, like uprooted and it's completely flat, it's a sign that something serious basically bulldozed them, right? And those Ad and Thamud, that's how they are said to be, like physically. I think they, from what I've read, Allah knows best, that they were giants. They were, that they were just physically very, very, very strong people. All right, number 8. فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُمْ مِن بَاقِيَةٍ. So now Allah's asking a question. فَهَلْ تَرَى, so now do you see, lahum, from them, min baqiya, anything that remains? Like, do you see any remnants of them? That they were completely annihilated and there's literally just nobody left over. Um, you know, not a single person was left over. All completely decimated, every single one of them. Ayat number 9 continues. وَجَاءَ فِرْعَوْنُ وَمَنْ قَبْلَهُ والمؤتفكات بالخاطية. It says, Fir'aun, وَجَاءَ فِرْعَوْن, and Fir'aun, Pharaoh, came, and وَمَنْ قَبْلَ, and whomever was before him, وَالْمُؤْتَفِكَاتُ, and right, and the towns which were overturned, continuing in sin. So khatiya just means sin or negligence, error. So basically saying that not only Pharaoh but everybody that was around him and before him, that they were all overturned, basically punished, because of their khatiya, because of their sin. فَعَصَوْا رَسُولَ رَبِّهِمْ فَأَخَذَهُمْ أَخْذَةً رَّابِيَةً. It says فَعَصَوْا. It says, so they disobeyed Rasula Rabbihim, the messenger of their Lord. فَأَخَذَهُمْ, so he took them, أَخْذَةً رَّابِيَةً, with so he took them. Akhda is just emphasis on akhada. Uh, so this word here is just emphasis on the word here. And then Rabia means a severe grasp. So he took them swiftly and very powerfully. Took as in punished. Alright, number 11. Inna lamma taghal ma'u hamalnakum fil jariya. And it says, Inna, right. So it says, Inna lamma taghal ma'u. So al ma'u means water, and then tagha means to transgress or to supersede the boundary, right? So it says, verily we verily we, inna, when, lama just means when, the water basically overflowed. Hamalnakum, verily we carried you, fil jariya, in the ship. So it's talking about Prophet Nuh, in English, Noah. Alayhi salam is talking about him, that when the floods came, Allah took him in the ship. لِنَجْعَلَهَا لَكُمْ تَذْكِرَةً وَتَعِيَهَا أُذُنُ وَاعِيَةً. It says, لِنَجْعَلَهَا, so that we could make it, lakum, for you, tadhkira, a reminder, وَتَعِيَهَا, um, and then udhun means ears, wa'iya means retaining, and then ta'iya just means like retain. So basically, it's saying that we made it a reminder for you, and those people who listen, they could really listen and take heed to the reminder, and like right, and see it for what it is, a sign. Ayat number 13. فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ نَفْخَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ. فَإِذَا نُفِخَ, so nuficha means blown, like like فِي الصُّورِ, in the trumpet. um Nafkhatun wahida is one blow, and so when the trumpet is blown with one blast, or one, you know, yeah, with a single blast, one blow of fresh air, or one blow of air, if that would make sense. وحملت الأرض والجبال فدكتا دكة واحدة. So humila means to carry. So وحملت الأرض, and so when the earth is carried, والجبال, and the mountain, when the earth and mountains are carried, فدكتا, um فدكتا, so they will be lifted up, دكة wahida, in with one, um with one lift. So it's basically like they're going to be lifted, the mountains on the earth are going to be lifted, basically crushed in one swift movement. So it's also showing the ease at which Allah can do things that would, that we see as almost impossible. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ, so on that day, وَقْعَةَ sorry, وَقْعَ what pardon me, وَقَعَةَ الْوَاقِعَةِ. My mouth is a little dry. So then, فَيَوْمَئِذٍ وَقَعَةَ الْوَاقِعَةِ, so on that day, the inevitable, واقعة, the inevitable وقع will take place. Number 16. وانشقت السماء فهي يومئذ واهية. So as-sama'u means skies, and then وانشقت means to be rent asunder, basically means destroyed or cleaved in half. Fahiya, on that, so it, meaning the skies, or they, so the skies, yawma idin, on that day, wahiya, will be scattered, completely decimated. Ayat number 17. Wal malaku ala arja'iha wa yahmilu arsha rabbika fawqahum yawma idin thamaniya. And it says, Wal malaku, and the angels, ala arja'iha, will be at its sides, right? Will be arja'iha, along its sides. Wa yahmilu, and they will carry arsha rabbika, the throne of your Lord. Arsh, the throne, rabbika, of your Lord. Fawqahum, above them, right? Basically saying the throne is going to be above them, and then yawma idin thamaniya, on that day is 8. So now to make it make sense, it's basically saying that the throne of Allah is going to be there, and carrying it on each of its sides, is going to be 8 angels. 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 8 angels So it says that one tafsir mentions that currently, as of relative now, it says four angels are carrying the throne of Allah. But then, because of the basically just because of how severe that day is going to be, four other angels will join, and eight will will um will be carrying it then. Number 18. يومئذ تعرضون لا تخفى منكم خافية. So يومئذ, on that day, تعرضون, it says تعرضون, you will be brought forward. It says لا تخفى منكم خافية. So خافية is a secret, things that we hide from people, whether it's things that only we know, things we take to the graves, as people say. It says تعرضون, you will be brought forward, and لا تخفى منكم, no secret that you have will be kept a secret. Everything is going to be laid out on the table, every single thing. All right, number 19. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ, so whomever is given, أُوتِيَ كِتَابَ, his book, whomsoever is given his book, بِيَمِينِهِ, by his right hand, فَيَقُولُ, so he will say, هَا أُمُقْرَؤُ كِتَابِيَ, he said, come, come here, read my book. He's so happy. He's like, I've been given the book on my right hand. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Come read it. Look at all the good deeds that I've done. Look at all the goodness that I brought forward. Come read my book. Ayat number 20. It says, Inni dhonantu anni mulaqin hisabiya. It says, Inni dhonantu, verily I thought, or I believed, anni, that I, mulaqin, would receive hisabiya, my accounting. That someone is going to take me to account on all of the stuff I did on earth, and I have to show my receipts for everything that I've done. And he said, so the person that's basically that could be any of us. Inshallah, it's all of us. Actually, my apologies. He says, right. Says, I believe that I was going to be taken into account, and so I brought forward good deeds. So come read it. It says, فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ, and he will, and فَهُوَ, and he will be في عِيشَةٍ, in a life, راضية, pleased. So he will be given a pleasing life, or a blissful life. Ayat number 22. في جنة عالية, in lofty gardens. You can say high gardens also, but lofty just has that grandeur to it. Ayat number 23. قطوفها دانية. It says qutuf, um, its fruits. Qutuf is fruits. Ha, its fruits. Dania, uh, is lowered. So the word dunya, earth, also means low, like it's lowly, it's lofty. So dania and dunya come from the same Arabic root words. Uh, so so it's saying that its fruits are lowered, meaning they're easy to grab. So instead of you having to climb a tree in order to go grab the tasty apple, the branches would kind of just come down. You can pluck them easily. And it's going to be basically said to him, "Kulu washrabu, eat and drink, hani'am." Um, hani'am, you can say pleasing or content. Eat and drink to your heart's desire, to your heart's content. Bima aslaftum, because of aslaftum, um, yeah, because of what you have put forward. Fil ayamil khaliya, in the days gone by. So saying you were here only because you put things forward. You prayed, read the Quran, etc. You did good deeds, and this is your reward for what you did back then. So now Allah reverses course, and He talks about the people who received the book on their left hand. It says, "Wa amma Man utiya kitabahu bishimali, bishimali, sorry. It says, and as for he who receives his book in his left hand, فَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي, oh woe is me, lam uta kitabia. If oh woe is me, if only I was not given my book. If only I was not given my book. One moment. Right. 36 it says, "Walam adri ma hisabia." Walam adri, and I did not know ma hisabia about what my account is. Like what is in my, not only what is in my banking, my metaphorical bank account, but I didn't even really know like I'd be taken into account. So it's compound ignorance. All right, 27. يا ليتها كانت القاضية. It says, "Ya laytaha." Oh woe is, woe is, right. Uh, one moment. Qadiya? Yeah. It says, "Ya laytaha." Oh woe is it. كانت القاضية. Um, Basically saying if only death would have ended it. Meaning, if basically saying like if only I could have just lived my life here on Earth, and then once I died, that was basically it. There was nothing after, right? There was no accounting, no judgment day, nothing. I just go back to when before I was born, and it was like there's just no recollection of anything. You just die, and that's it. He says, oh woe is my accounting. If only its end was it." It says, "Ma aghna anni maliya." My wealth, ma aghna, um, my wealth did not help me. It did not avail me. It did not benefit me. All of the billions of dollars I hoarded on planet Earth, I can't use it to pawn my way out of this area now. I'm basically screwed. Halaka anni sultaniya. It says, halaka anni. Sultan just means my authority, my kingdomship, right, has been destroyed. Right. So when kings, when they could send their, their slaves or their minions to go do stuff now, or like I have this grand army. I'm a king of kings. Who are you talking to? Nobody can say any of that now. Everybody's on the exact same playing field. So his wealth nor his kingdomship benefit him. خُذُوهُ فَغُلُّوهُ. It says, خُذُوهُ, so take him. It says take him, فَغُلُّوهُ, and seize him. ثُمَّ الْجَحِيمَ صَلُّوهُ. I said ثُمَّ الْجَحِيمَ, then after, Jahim, the hellfire, Sallu, throw him, or cast him. Basically, take control of him, seize him. Don't let him go, handcuff him, and then throw him into the fire. No mercy. Ayat number 32. ثم في سلسلة ذرعها 70 ذراعا فاسلكوه. And it says ثم, then after, في سلسلة, in a chain, ذرعها, whose length is 70, is 70 ذراعا. You can say 70 feet. But I believe, from what I recall, a dhira'a is roughly like a forearm, about a foot, about a foot. So, um, and then faslukuhu, and fasten him. So it's basically chain him and fasten him using a chain that's 70 feet long. Like you're not getting out of that, basically, right? Innahu, verily he, kana la yu'minu billahi al-azim. Verily he, kana la yu'minu, he did not believe, billahi al-azim, in the great Allah. He did not believe in the great Allah. Wala yuhuddu, nor did he um yuhuddu ala ta'am al-miskin, nor did he yuhuddu urge, in brackets, people, ala, to ta'am al-miskin, to feeding the poor. Like, he neglected the poor, he didn't care about them. فَلَيْسَ لَهُ الْيَوْمَ هَاهُنَا حَمِيمٌ. So, going back now, I want to share one quick thing. Um, a couple ayahs earlier, it said the word hamim. Okay, I can't. It's a couple ayahs earlier, but it says the word. It uses the same word, hamim. So before it meant hellfire, but hamim here means a friend. So many times we have people that we find comfort in. When it's a really bad cold day, you go to them, and they're like a warmth to us. So that's what hamim is a friend. So it's saying that فَلَيْسَ لَهُ الْيَوْمِ. So he has, on this day, no hamim for himself. He has no good friend, nobody to rely on, nobody to call for an intercession, nobody to be like, hey man, I'm just having a bad day. Can I just talk about it? Nobody, absolutely nobody's there for him. Just completely screwed. Nobody to be his, comfort. وَلَا طَعَامٌ إِلَّا مِنْ غِسْلِينَ. And nor does he have any food except from ghislin. And ghislin is basically the filth that you get when you're washing a wound. So let's say you go to battle and you have a big bandage here, all the blood, the pus, the ooze and the goose, all the nasty stuff, and you wash it off to clean it, right? Your wound will be clean now, but all of the gunk that's now there, he's basically going to be eating it and drinking it. So it's disgusting. Like, it's wretched, right? La ya'kuluhu illa khati'un. It says la ya'kuluhu, nobody's going to be eating it, meaning al-ghislin, illa, except al-khati'un, except the sinners. Except the sinners. At number 38. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَا تُبْصِرُونَ. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ basically is just wallahi. It's the equivalent of wallahi. It's just an oath that you take. So it says فَلَا أُقْسِمُ, and so I swear, bima, by what, tubsirun, by all that you can see, wama la tubsirun, and that what you cannot see. Innahu, verily he, meaning the Prophet, la qawlu, is sorry, verily it, verily it, la qawlu, it is the speech of a rasulin karimin, of a noble, an honorable messenger. This is what the Quran is. It's just the word of a noble messenger. And it says, ayah number 41, وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ الشَّاعِرِ, and it is not the words of a poet. قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ, but little do you believe. So when the Prophet was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was talking to, was giving da'wah to the people, they would call him a soothsayer, call him a madman, call him a poet. Many people, because poetry back in the day, during the Arab, before the Prophet uh, became a prophet, he was, just living his life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Arabs were big on poetry, very, very big on poetry, and so obviously the Kaaba was always there, and so they would get all the best poets, and basically have competitions, and whoever had the best vocabulary, most eloquence in their poetry, they would put these poems on the Kaaba and just hang it, right? So now when the Quran started being recited by the Prophet, they're like, yo, maybe he's just a really good poet. That's all it is. Maybe he's just a good poet. But Allah is saying it's not. Allah is saying that it's not the words of a poet. It's deeper than that. قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ. But how insignificant is your belief? وَلَا بِقَوْلِ كَاهِنٍ, nor is it the words of a soothsayer. قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ, how little is it that you reflect and ponder. تَنْزِيلٌ مِّن رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, rather it is a revelation, مِّن رَبِّ, from the Lord of the worlds, or the sustainer, the nurturer of the worlds. We'll continue a little bit. Ayat number 44. It says, "Walau walau taqawwala alayna ba'dal aqawil." It says, "Walau taqawwala," had he had he fabricated alayna, upon us, ba'dal aqawil, any words. So Allah is saying that it's not the words of a soothsayer, it's not the words of a poet, and Allah is saying, if the Prophet himself was to say, to make up a lie, to fabricate, to fake any of the words that are coming out of his mouth that basically become this Quran, if he was to do any of this, ayat number 45 says, لَأَخَذْنَاهُ لَأَخَذْنَاهُ مِنْهُ بِالْيَمِينِ, that we would have taken him by his right hand. Allah is saying that if the Prophet was doing such a bad thing, such a horrendous act, that Allah is saying he would have taken the Prophet by his right hand. ثُمَّ لَقَطَعْنَا مِنْهُ الْوَتِينَ, and لَقَطَعْنَا, and we would have cut off, minhu, from him, al-watin, his neck. We would have sliced off his neck. Basically, if the Prophet wasn't a real Prophet and he was a fake person who was basically just saying some fake lie, then Allah himself would have disposed of him. Right? Allah would have disposed of him. فَمَا مِنْكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ عَنْهُ حَاجِزِينَ. And Allah says, not only would I have taken him by his right hand, not only would I have severed his neck, chopped off his head, basically. And it says, فَمَا مِنْكُمْ min ahad, and it says that from amongst you there would not have been even a single person who could have been for him a hajiz, um, a saver, right? Like, if someone's being stabbed, like, hey, help me, someone runs to you and saves you. You know what? They attack the killer. There would have been not a single person that would have stopped Allah from doing that to the Prophet, right? So Allah is basically just cementing, confirming a simple fact that is truly words from Allah and not just fabricated poetic words from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ayat number 48. وَإِنَّهُ, and verily it, لَتَذْكِرَةٌ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, and verily it is a admonition, a reminder, a severe reminder, لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, for those who fear, for those who remember Allah. Ayat number 49. وَإِنَّا لَنَعْلَمُ أَنَّ مِنْكُمْ مُكَذِّبِينَ. It says, وَإِنَّا, and verily we, لَنَعْلَمُ, surely know, أَنَّ مِنْكُمْ, that there is amongst you, مُكَذِّبِينَ, rejectors, deniers. وَإِنَّهُ, and verily it, لَحَسْرَةٌ, it is a source of regret, عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, for those who disbelieve. Ayat 51. وَإِنَّهُ لَحَقُّ الْيَقِينِ, and it is surely the absolute truth. And وَإِنَّهُ, and it is surely, لَحَقُّ الْيَقِينِ, it is surely the absolute truth. The final ayat, number 52. فَسَبِّحْ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ, so praise and glorify, bismi, the name, rabbika, of your most great Lord, of, and yeah, glorify, praise the name of your Lord, the Most High. And that is the end of Surah Al-Haqqa. So next week or so, we will start on this surah, Surah Al-Ma'arij, inshallah. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to ask. If not, then that will be it for this week, inshallah. Yeah, you have anything you want to ask or anything?
No.
Okay. Then that will be it, inshallah. Wait 1 second. Jazakumullah for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.